Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about reasons why I haven't traded over the last couple days. Today is Wednesday the 14th, and yesterday was Tuesday the 13th. So for New York session, this was the 8 o'clock candle for the hourly. So going back to what I had said on Monday, when there was massive consolidation here, I basically said that I was waiting for a breakout of these two lines, either up or down. And we actually ended up breaking down. So if I would have set pending orders, which I haven't really messed with too much, but I kind of thought about it for this day, it probably would have been a few pips above these wicks and probably a few pips below that wick. And if I would have done it this time, I think it would have been definitely really successful, because as soon as we push in one direction, we push really, really hard. So this was massive drop, like 80 pips, like you can see. And then we got into the next morning. So this was 8 o'clock right here, and we were at a weekly and daily support with this. So I was really skeptical that we would continue down. So I was waiting, as you can see from this 15-minute, for a break of this area right here. And for the entire session, we pretty much just sat here in range between these two. I think that these wicks right here around 840, I think those would have been good positions for sells, just because if you look left, at that point right there, that's a really strong resistance, and we're in a downtrend, as you can see. So since we're in a downtrend, you sell resistance. And so if you would have sold at this point, that's all the way down there, like a 30 pip range. So easily would have been able to get the 10 to 15 pips that I would be after. So that's why I didn't really trade during that time period. I did consider around right here taking the trade, because once again, looking left right there, you can see a support area, and this would have been around 10 o'clock my time, which is right when London close starts. And so obviously we're going to be losing volume, and we're probably not going to be pushing past that. So that would have been a good trade to take. And that up to the next zone that I have is like 12-ish pips, and then up to where we went was like 18. So I think that's why I didn't take that trade too. It's just because risk to reward, it's just not a very big range to fill. Okay, and moving on to the next day. Okay, so I kept these lines, and as you can see, here's where we go through the drop and into today, which was right here. All right. So this is what the hourly looked like coming into the session. This was the candle that we had just closed with. And then the next 8 a.m. candle was right here. So still in a downtrend. Looks like we respected this area. And then to me, it looked like we were coming back up to kind of retest this kind of an area here. So we had left that. Oh, wait, shit. Scratch that. Yeah, so scratch this last part that I just had here. because we were right into here. So we were still respecting the EMA, and then we had this bullish close, and then that was around 8:55. So 9 o'clock we came up, and you can see that we had came down and then broken up and retested this zone right here, and that was a good 16 pip range. So potential trade right there for 8:30. So around 8:30 is when we broke up, came down to retest, and then went up, which is the time that I normally take a trade. I was having a little issues with logging in to the brokerage because one of my computers was dead, so I didn't get to take this trade. And then we went up here, touched the 200 EMA and the point of one of my resistance points, and then as soon as we tapped that around the hour close, we just completely rejected off of it and plummeted. I know that we had news around here. Let me see what it was. Forex Factory. So yeah, we had news at 7:30, and then we had news again 9:30. 9:30 was around here. So we had pushed down, came back up to retest, and then pushed down even further. So you can see that we rejected off of here, and then just a nice little zone to zone, went all the way down there, about a 50 pip range. So that would have been a really awesome trade to catch from right here. So you can see that we've got this kind of doji Morningstar type thing, and then we just plummet. And then another good trade to take, the third one, would have been as soon as we dropped all the way down here to the bottom, because if you look over on our higher time frame chart, looking to the left, you can see that we pretty much hit the same area around 10 o'clock, I think. Yeah, 9:50. And so if you would have put in a trade for there, you know that London close, we're going to probably have some type of a reversal or pullback, which we did, and it's about 27 pips that that pulled back. So definitely could have got a trade in there for 12 to 15 pips. So that's kind of how New York session worked for the last couple days. I didn't really get a chance to trade too much because I had planned out my trades for the day before for us to break out on top and then retest and go up because we had our weekly support, but we ended up breaking below that, so I didn't take a trade. And then today I just had issues logging into the brokerage, but there were a lot of really good setups for today. Big ranges, good trades for zone to zone, just basic support and resistance like always. So that was just my little explanation on the last couple days. Even though I didn't trade, I figured I would do a little synopsis of trades that you could have taken and kind of how the market worked.